We owe God our breath, we owe God our lives, and we owe God our health. But did you know that there is something that you can do that can make God owe you? Hi. Did you ever think that you could lend something to God and then God will be owing you? God will be in your debt. Did you ever think of that? Welcome to Christianity 247. My name is Honorita James, and welcome to my channel where I am going to teach you how to live the normal Christian life, teach you how to run your business the Christian way, teach you how to identify your talents, and also give you tips on how to start your online business. Welcome to my channel today. Today we are going to discuss something very important on Christianity 247. Did you know that it's possible for you to lend to the Lord and the Lord will be in your debt? I am sure most of us have seen this scripture I'm going to read today, but you've not actually thought of it. You've not actually wondered, how can I put the Lord or make the Lord to become indebted to me? I'm going to show you today. I show you a scripture from the book of Proverbs 19 verse 17. Anyone who gives to the poor lends to the Lord, and he will repay him for all his good deeds. When you give money to somebody in need, it's like you've lent something to the Lord. Do you know how it feels like if you're owing somebody something? If I borrow something from somebody, let's say I borrow some money from somebody. If I see that person, the first thing that comes to my head is, oh, I have to pay this person. If you do not pay that person, anytime you see that person, you begin to feel very uncomfortable. I don't know about you, but for me, I will feel so uncomfortable when I see this person and I know I have not paid back the money that I borrowed. If me, human being, can feel like that, how much more when God knows that he's owing you and that he needs to pay? And he's a faithful God. And he does not fail when it comes to the word that he has written. I know most times the questions that people ask is, how do I know the poor to give? It's a very important question for today's kind of world. Because today, at times you might want to do something good and you end up in trouble. You read it in the newspapers. You read it, you hear it in news, you watch it on television where people can stop to help somebody in need. And the next thing is their car is taken away from them. Or they are destroyed one way or the other. How do you know the poor that you can lend to? Who are those that you can lend to that God approves and then God will give back to you? I read from Luke chapter 6 verse 33 to 35. It says, if you do good to those who do good to you, what credit is that to you? For even sinners do the same. If you lend to those you expect to receive from, what credit is that to you? Even Even sinners and evildoers, they lend to those they expect something from. But love your enemies. Do good and lend, expecting nothing in return. And your reward will be great. God is saying, when you're giving to somebody, don't give it because you're expecting something. You know, there's something we do. We give. We give, knowing that maybe somehow this person will repay it. Somehow. It might not be back. It might not be cash back. Or it might not be the same thing. But we give, expecting that this person, if I need help sometime, somehow, you should be able to reciprocate. No. You won't get your reward. It is when you give to somebody that you know that that person, in 100 years, cannot repay you. That's what God is saying. That is how to put God in your debt. Another question is, most times I want to help, but I do not have the means at that time. Somebody comes and needs help, but you don't have the money to give at that time. First, let me tell you, it must not always be money that you give. God has given everybody talents. Everybody has something to give to somebody that needs something. It could be your time that is so important, but somebody needs that time, either to tell you something or either to get an encouragement from you. When you give her that time that you know that time is so important to you and you give it out, you're indebted. You've given God something. It could be a talent. You know how to do things. And maybe people pay you to do that thing. And then here is somebody that really needs to learn that thing, but he doesn't have the money to pay you. You can help and give out that thing free of charge. But let's come to the most basic one, money. How are you able to always have something somewhere to help somebody that is in need? Let me show you what scripture says we should do. Leviticus 23:22 says, when you harvest the crops of your land, do not harvest the crops along the edges of your field, and do not pick up what the harvesters drop. Don't harvest everything. Don't pick up the things that drop when they are harvesting, the things that drop on the ground. Leave it alone. Leave it for the poor and for the foreigners living among you. I am the Lord your God. When God ends something like with, I am the Lord your God, it means I am the owner. He says, when you harvest, don't harvest everything. When you harvesters, you're employed to harvest, and they are harvesting, and some things are falling on the floor. Do not pick out everything. Leave it. How does that relate to us in today's world? When you get your salary, or you get your profits from your business, my dear, do not eat everything. Put something aside. Put it in an envelope. Put it in a safe. Or put it in a piggy bank. Label it for the poor. I know you tell me, I pay tithes now. They should take care of that. Yes. But also lay aside. What if somebody comes for you for help? Will you send the person to go to the church that you pay tithes there? Keep it aside. You get something today or somebody gives you a blessing today, keep a little thing aside. I'm not saying just keep a little aside. Just be keeping it. You'll be amazed at how much you can accumulate when you keep very little aside every month and label it there for the poor. The very act of doing it is a blessing. The very act that you have thought of it and you've done it, you keep it aside. Because you don't know when God will bring somebody your way that needs help. So that God can be indebted to you. Please just do what I have done it, and I know what I have gained from it. Keep something aside. Even Paul, when he was, writing to the Galatians, he told them, always remember the poor. Always keep something aside for the poor. How? Whenever you have something, lay something aside. And the last question is, how do I know what to lay? How do I know genuine people that really need help? That is a very good question, very good question. Because even today, some people can just decide to be lazy and just be asking you for help. Some family members can decide to be lazy and just be looking for who to help. How do you know who is poor, really, to help? The answer is pray. I know most of us do not pray for that in the morning when we do our morning prayers. I never used to do it. I started doing it a few weeks or a few months ago. And it's working for me. What do I pray? I say, Lord, bring my way somebody that is asking you for help. And I specify the kind of help. If I've laid aside some amount, I specify the amount to God. Is there somebody needing this amount? Father, bring that person my way. Let me be an answer to that person's prayer. What is my intention? That I may lend to God, though. Because if God owes you, the payment is more than what you gave to him. So, create time in your prayer time or in prayer hour in the mornings or whenever you're praying, morning, afternoon, night. Make it a very, very essential part of your prayer. Father, send to me somebody that needs so. Somebody that needs encouragement. Somebody that needs to learn how to sew and doesn't know or doesn't have the money to pay. Somebody that needs to learn whatever talent it is that you want to give out and give it to the person. Pray that prayer. And you'll be so surprised the way God will just organize it and bring such a person your way. And then when you give out that, see what God will do. Thank you so much for listening today. I hope you enjoyed today's topic and I hope you've learned one or two things today. So until next time, remain blessed and continue to pray and to hold on to God.